Hello, Mama. Welcome to this prenatal yoga class for second trimester. We are focusing on nourishing our digestive fire. So I don't know about you, but most people, or not most people, but oftentimes a lot of pregnant women feel not so great in the digestive area in their first trimester. I personally had quite a bit of nausea. I wasn't sick that often, but it definitely made me not feel like doing much, right? And that did go away into the second trimester. So it was a lot easier for me to begin thinking about eating healthy and taking all the necessary vitamins and supplements that we need during our pregnancy. And also this is a great time to focus on your solar plexus chakra, which is our action center. And it's kind of time, if you're gaining some of your energy back, to really start thinking about all the things that you need or want to do in order to prepare for your baby. So as we get started on this class, I want you to just focus on your core center. So focus on your digestive system, every breath breathing deeply into that, wherever it's hitting you, whether you feel energized or maybe you still don't feel so great. Plenty of people don't feel great throughout their entire pregnancy. So we're just going to focus all our energy on our digestive system and that core solar plexus and on taking action and kind of starting to get things done. So let's get right into it. Let's start in a mountain pose with our feet about hip width distance. And depending on where you are in your pregnancy, because you can take these classes in any trimester, and also just depending on how you're feeling in the pelvic region, you might want to come even a little bit wider or maybe a little narrower feels good. So just find what feels good for you. And then let's bring the palms face forward, fingers spreading wide, and just begin to take a couple of deep breaths. So really grounding into your mat, settling into this practice, and then breathing deep into the belly, into that digestive space. Always vocalize if it feels good to you on those exhales. And let's begin by taking an inhale, arms come overhead, and then we're just going to grab opposite elbows. And then this really allows us to create space in that whole center area, right? So everything's kind of compressed, okay? So we want to create some space, allowing room for our digestive system to flow and do what it's supposed to do. So on an inhale here, lengthen the spine and pull your forearms up. Exhale, let's bend over towards the right. And it doesn't have to be super deep to feel that space being created on the left side. And then play with your gaze, your neck. And then breathe deeply into the left side, creating space, again, focusing on that digestive center. 3 deep breaths here. And then on an inhale, coming back up. And then exhale here. Inhale again, reaching the forearms towards the ceiling so that you create length. And then exhale to the left side, nice and spacious on the right side body there. And then holding for 3 deep breaths. Last one. And then inhale yourself back up to center. Exhale, arms come down by the side. All right, now meet me at the top of your mat. We're going to work through 3 modified sun salutation A's. And I always recommend having a bolster, a pillow, some blocks, maybe even a strap, all kinds of props for prenatal yoga, because every day it changes and you might not know where you need to shift or adjust the posture. So let's go ahead and grab some blocks. And you can do it without as well. Again, just find what's feeling good for you today. I'm going to use the tall edge. You can also play with the different heights, okay? So again, starting in that mountain pose with the feet hip width distance, palms facing forward. Let's inhale, the arms overhead, gaze follows. Exhale, swan diving towards your blocks. Let the head relax in your forward fold. And then come up, inhale, halfway lift. Keeping the knees slightly bent here, straightening the back. You want to gaze straight down, long neck, and then exhale again, forward fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, pull that in to the heart. Let's keep that flowing, going through 2 more. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, folding. And again, keeping that energy into your digestive area. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way to rise. Exhale, pulling that in. So on this last one, with every movement, focus on the core. Engaging the core. Relaxing that whole area. Just really paying attention to any sensations happening in that digestive center. Inhale, coming to rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now let's work our way through a sun salutation A, adding our chaturanga, up dog, down dog, okay? And we can modify, so there's lots of options. Starting here, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, long neck. Exhale, let's set our blocks to the side, and then we're going to step back into kind of a tabletop. Now from here, you can pause and then elongate into a modified chaturanga, or you can go straight to down dog. So exhaling to your chaturanga, and then inhale into your upward facing dog. Doesn't have to be a deep back bend. And then exhale, tuck the toes, and work your way into your first downward facing dog. And if down dog doesn't feel so good to you, maybe you've got heartburn, or for any other reason being a little inverted here is just not feeling it today, we'll just drop into a tabletop and hold this. And you can also go through a couple of cat-cows here, okay? So from your downward facing dog, I prefer that you bend the knees slightly and then push the chest backward instead of straight legs and having your shoulders this way, yeah? Heels are coming towards the mat. Pressure in the fingertips. And hold here for 2 more breaths. And then let's look in between the hands, and we're going to step the right foot into a lunge. So as you step, your left knee comes down. And then coming up slowly, find a lunge that works for you. And then once you find your balance, let's bring our attention back to the core. So when we are not pregnant, this is how we can balance, right? We engage our core, hold everything into our center. So it's a little harder for me to engage and really pay attention to the core while pregnant, but still that energy that we're sending there can really help us. And we know our balance is already off because we got extra blood, hormones, all kinds of stuff going on. So adjust your feet as you need to, but find that balance. And then again, with our core being our center of gravity and our energy, let's inhale the arms up. And then on an exhale, we're going to do an open twist. So opening up to the left side. Yeah, we'll do that 3 times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, open twist. 2 more. And then this, we're paying attention to our digestion. We're working and massaging that whole system without crunching, right? We're just going to open up our twists when we're pregnant. And then from here, exhale the hands down. And then let's come back into our down dog or a tabletop, depending on where you were. And just pause here and kind of reset for 1 or 2 breaths. And then find where you're stepping with the left foot. And as that foot comes forward, the right knee comes down. And then you can tuck or untuck the toes here, whatever's going to help you balance best. So inhaling, coming up, and then exhale as we open our twist to the right. Inhale, arms up, opening to the right, noticing any sensations we feel in that center, in our core, in our digestion. Last one, inhale, arms up. Exhale, open to the right. So last time we inhale, exhale our hands down, and then again, find your down dog or your tabletop. And then we're going to return to standing. So make your way towards the feet, or feet towards the hands. You can walk, doesn't have to be a hop or a step or a jump right now. And then grab your blocks if you need. So we'll go back through and then inhale, half lift. And then exhale, forward fold, completely relax the head and neck. Bending the knees, using your leg strength, using your core. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, hands into heart center. And then return to your mountain pose. And then from your mountain pose, we're going to open up to the long side of our mat, either way, with our feet parallel facing the long edge of our mat. And we're moving into a triangle pose. So I'm going to use a block. So you can grab one, set one to the side. And then with our right foot, we're just going to turn it perpendicular. And then your back foot slightly edge out your left heel. And then you also can play with the length of your stance. It might feel better for it to be a little shorter, maybe a little longer, okay? And then with your block, arms out to a T, we're just going to tip, and the block comes right beside the foot. Left arm comes up. We're holding here for 5 breaths, and as you inhale and exhale through the nose, pay attention to any sensations happening along the side body here on the left side. Maybe it brings you back to the similar sensation from the first posture when we were doing side stretches. Just be aware of any energy coming into this area. And then after 5 breaths, let's bring our gaze down to the right hand to ground ourselves. Bend the right knee, grab your block, come up, and then let's just rotate our feet right where we are. So left foot's gonna go towards the short edge of your mat. The right heel is gonna pop out a little. Switching our blocks. And then try to do the same thing on both sides. Arms come open wide. And again, noticing any sensations in the core, your digestion, the side body on the right. And holding for 5 breaths. And then after 5, dropping the gaze down, bending the left knee, and using that leverage to come up. We come back to the middle. Now we're gonna go back to the right side into a side angle. So we're gonna bring our stance just a little bit wider. Same concept with the feet though. So right foot is facing the short edge of your mat. Back left heel is tucked out a little, toes are turned in. And then the block, play with both. So I want you to play with the block in front of your foot as well as behind it. Just depends on how much space you have right here. And then if that is still a little crunchy, you can come up. For me today, this feels better. Rest your elbow or your forearm on your knee. Bend into that right foot and create a long line from your toes all the way to your fingertips, side angle. Bending into that right knee, we're holding 5 breaths. And then really feel the core strength holding you here. Knowing that you can nourish your digestive fire in the second trimester. Say, I feel energized, I feel well, and I'm gonna get some stuff done. And then let's bring that left hand back to your hip and then slowly come up and then just switch to the other side. So your right heel rotates out, left leg bends, and then finding the same position with your left arm. Right arm comes up overhead, creating a straight long line from right fingertips all the way back to your left heel. 5 breaths. And after 5, hands come to hips, toes come back front, parallel, facing the long edge of your mat, and then pause here. Okay, and in this wide-legged stance, this will be our last sequence of standing postures. We're just going to reach back into our side body again. So with the right hand coming down towards the knee, and then the left arm coming up, just another variation of this side body stretch, really creating space and length in the digestive area, holding for 5 breaths. And then also feeling the strength in your legs. So we've got our focus on our core, but our body is doing a lot of stuff, right? And that's fine. And then let's inhale, come all the way up. And then as we exhale, just switch sides. And then all of these postures, just observing any sensations, something new maybe that you didn't feel yesterday, you know? I'm starting to feel, after your 5th one come up, I'm starting to feel just a slight pulling and straining sensation right here. And I can't quite tell yet if it's tendon or muscle. So I'm just taking it really easy on any front stretches, you know? So just being really aware of any sensations in your body and just allowing it to rest and not overdo it. Like anything that we're doing right now is very gentle, but also strengthening and nourishing, but we're not overdoing it, right? Okay, now let's grab our blocks again. And we're going into a wide leg forward fold. Now, if you're still really bendy and you've got room for the belly, then you can do without the blocks. So you can play with the different levels of the blocks, and you want your hands right underneath your shoulders. Okay, so we've got 3 levels, and then you can also come all the way down to the ground. So find the level that works for you to hold for 5 deep breaths, and then adjust your feet. So this is kind of like our halfway lift. We're gonna hold it here for 5 breaths with our long spine and our gaze directly beneath us. And then after 5 breaths for you, we're going to relax into a forward fold. And you can bend the knees slightly. You can heel toe the feet in or out, whatever feels good here. And we're just going to relax and hold that for 5 breaths as well. And then let's inhale back to this halfway lift. And now we're moving into a dynamic twist. So let's just bring one block into the middle. Set your other one off to the side. Left hand on the block first. Inhale, the right arm open. Exhale, switch hands. Inhale, the left arm open. And then exhale, switch. And then just keep this going. Inhaling and exhaling. Trying to keep the hips still so that we're twisting just very gently in our core. Again, bringing energy to that digestive system, nourishing our solar plexus. And as we do this, though, we're getting into the heart space, opening up the shoulders as well. One more full round. Right arm up. Then left. And then let's rest here for just a second. And then I want you to grab both blocks, especially if you've got the pregnancy dizzies. And I want you to heel toe your feet in, nice and gently. And then bend the knees, and slowly your gaze comes up, and then use the blocks. Slowly come to rise. Whoo! If you feel dizzy, bend the knees. Hands on the hips. Take a couple breaths here and take your time to get back to a standing posture. Okay, so that was our last standing flow. So we're going to do one sun A to work our way down to a tabletop. or you can just meet me there if you're not feeling it. So we'll keep our blocks handy, but you can put them to the side for now. And then coming to the top of your mat, inhale the arms overhead. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, stepping back. And then I'm going to modify this one. So I'm going to just take a cow, inhaling chest forward. And then exhale, coming into a downward facing dog. So that's an option, is to skip the chaturanga and just do like a cow instead of an upward facing dog. Now, coming into a tabletop position. Make sure that your hands and wrists are directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly under the hips. And then we're gonna take a few cat-cows, inhaling, dropping the belly, chest comes forward, and on an exhale, dropping your head and really tuck the baby into the spine. And then just find the movement and the breath speed that works for you. And really focusing on the spine here that supports that digestive system that we're nourishing. And honestly, I do cat-cows every day, randomly. They just feel really, really good to relieve any pressure, low back, hips, pelvis, kind of everything. Highly recommended. And then come back to neutral, and then we're going to do some side kind of crunches. So I want you to look over your left shoulder at your left hip, and then that's going to be your exhale. Inhale, center. Inhale, center. Exhale, look at your right hip. Inhale, center. Exhale, right, left, sorry. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. So just keep this going. And we're working our core here. We are crunching the sides. One more on each side. And then coming back to neutral, coming on the hands or on the fists if you need to rest the wrists. So sometimes that can be a lot on the wrists, especially if you're experiencing some swelling. But we're gonna get a little bit relief here when we do bird dogs. So let's bring our left toes behind us, right arm comes out in front. Now you can hold here for 5 breaths and just engage the core, again, holding your balance, or you can inhale, reach, exhale, knee to elbow. So this also depends on how much belly space you've got. I don't have a ton anymore. So I'm just gonna come slightly in, but that's still going to stoke that fire. Last one. And then returning to your tabletop, switching sides. So right toes behind you, left arm out. And again, you can hold here for 5 breaths, or you can inhale, reach, exhale, squeeze together, knee to elbow. 3 more. And then again, returning to your tabletop, taking a rest here, finding neutral. And again, maybe you flip to the back of the hand, give the wrists a little bit of a break. Maybe a cat-cow to neutralize, and then just pause here and breathe for a second. Okay, and then our last exercise, we're going to do a child's pose to forearm plank, kind of dynamic transition. So just hold on. Run with me on this one, okay? So if it's too much, of course, you can just go right into your child's pose. But we're going to activate our core. So we're gonna go ahead and be on our forearms. So it's not gonna look like a regular child's pose. We're gonna come back and rest our heels, our bum towards our heels. And then we're gonna come forward, step the feet back, plank, hold for 1 breath. And then the knees come back in, rest for child's pose, okay? So let's do 3 more of these, coming forward onto the forearms, stepping the feet back, forearm plank, hold for a breath, tuck that pelvis under, and then coming back, knees rest, back into our child's pose. Number 2, shifting forward, weights on our forearms. You can do it, we're almost there. Back, lowering the hips, and then back, rest to the knees, shifting back. Okay, last one, challenge to hold for 3 breaths, totally not required. Weight comes forward, stepping back, holding 1, 2, and 3. Oh yeah. Okay, rest the knees down. And then let's bring our toes together to touch. Knees as wide as they need to go. Maybe grab a block, maybe grab a pillow, and then coming into your child's pose to rest. Don't know about you, but I'm sweating a little bit after that last one. So find your variation of child's pose. We want to be fully relaxed here, so if you feel any engagement anywhere, add props as needed. Maybe even a cushion under the hips or your bolster. Oh yeah, much better. There we go. That's a good child's pose. Completely relax the shoulders. Check the jaw. Your third eye, the space between the eyebrows. And then your belly. Make sure that you are now completely relaxing the belly. And we'll just rest here for a little while, just kind of absorbing all the work that we've just done. And then just kind of tap into the energy space of your core, of your digestive system. Observe any sensations. Is it feeling a little better now than before? Maybe you were nauseated. Maybe it is kind of moving and working, and you might need to go to the restroom after this. Just, see what's going on in there. There's no right or wrong feelings. It's just about getting to know your body, especially during pregnancy, so that you can really follow your intuition on what it is that you need. And then when you feel ready, let's lift our forehead off the mat, the block, wherever you are, and walk yourself up. And then we're going to find a butterfly. So you might want to elevate your hips. You might not. But just come to a seat, soles of the feet together, and then play with the distance. You might want them closer in, further out. See how your hips are feeling today. And then I am going to ask you to grab a block. And so we're going to kind of balance it on our feet. I'm going to use 2. I'm going to create a T, and this is also really good for like yin or restorative. And then just rest your forehead on the block. So that way we're closing the gap here, because it's probably not likely that you can rest your forehead all the way down anymore with your little baby in the way. So we'll just rest here. And then let the arms flop open, and that allows us to completely relax those same areas that I just touched on. Relax the belly. With the exhale, release your shoulders. Completely relax your jaw. Exhale into the space in between the eyebrows. And then just kind of settle in to this posture for 5 to 10 breaths, letting your breathing regulate and slow back down. And then when you feel ready, slowly coming up, keep your blocks handy. I'm going to offer you one more posture to finish. So from your butterfly, you're just going to extend the legs out long for a supported forward fold. Same concept. Adjust your blocks as needed. And then let the feet flop here. Let the knees be slightly bent. Let the palms come facing up, resting either on the legs or on the mat beside you. And then once again, holding this posture for about 10 breaths, relaxing everything, starting at your digestive center, your belly. Let all of those muscles release. Exhale and your shoulders drop, relaxing further down. Allow your jaw to release, maybe putting a part in the lips. And relaxing the third eye. And then when you're ready, slowly come up. And then we prepare for our final relaxation. And here you can take either a comfortable seat, Savasana. You know, there's so many different options, especially while pregnant. Lying on our backs flat on Savasana might not be the most comfortable. So I'm going to do a little supported type of Savasana. I'm going to put my blocks as so. And then grab my bolster or pillow, can do here as well. Beautiful. Lower back comes up against the bolster. And then here, you can do a butterfly or extend the legs out in front of you. I usually start in a butterfly and end up with extending my legs. So find a resting posture that's going to work for you. This one is also helpful for me to remain elevated if I'm having a lot of heartburn. So that's something to keep in mind too, that you might want to figure out how to build a little elevated resting posture for yourself. And that's helped a lot when I have digestive upset. And then let your palms come up again. And then bring your attention back to your solar plexus, your core, your entire digestive tract. Just observing any sensations that came up during class. Observe any tension or discomfort you'd like to release. And then consider any energies, peace, relaxation, and other sensations that you'd like to invite in. And we'll rest here together for about 5 minutes in our final pose. And I'll leave you to consider those areas and just kind of explore your state of being and just rest and sit in how this class may have helped you. Maybe it stirred something up inside of you, but follow your intuition and just release, relax, and enjoy. And then when you're ready, let's begin to slowly wake up the body. First, just wiggle fingers and toes. Also, no offense taken if you stay in your resting posture. I kind of want to stay here, but I'll guide us out. All right, we're going to find our way to a seat depending on the kind of resting posture you took. You'll be getting there differently from me, but just take your time. And then come to a comfortable seated posture, resting the hands on the knees. And then just finish out with a few breaths here. And then we'll place our hands at heart center and we'll close the class together. Take a deep breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be with you on this lovely pregnancy journey. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to hear how this class either helped you or maybe discouraged you. We did do forearm planks, sorry. But I'd love to hear how it went for you. And I'd also love to hear how you're struggling and how you're thriving in this pregnancy. So share with us, mind, body, spirit. How are you? How are you doing today? Just today, right now. And how can I support you? I'd love to create any other classes or meditations, breathing exercises that I can for you to make this journey easier. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you'll get notifications of my weekly classes. And I'll see you next time. Have a nice day.